Scott, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. It's great to be back in the city of Austin. I love this place. Austin has my heart, so it's good. Friday Night Lights was my first show. I had been, I'd done some theater and stuff. I'd kind of been all over the world, like beatboxing and singing and dancing, but I was always on the go, and Austin was the first place as an adult that I could really call home. And I really grew up here in a way. I was in my mid-20s to late 20s in this town, and I think that's when you do a huge part of your growing. So to come back, to see everybody, I have a ton of friends down here, and to see the whole FNL crew, it's a great time of year. We get together probably once or twice a year, and this is just a new one that we can come back and meet during this, so it's great.
That's cool. It's great that y'all have this opportunity to come out to this festival. So how important do you think this festival is to the actual television industry? It's
odd because when you're in Los Angeles, I'll start talking about TV. I'm a big TV nerd, and I'll start talking about TV to some of my actor friends, and half the people out there are like, I don't watch television. I don't have time for television. And I don't understand why. It's just a long format of storytelling, and I just want to tell good stories. And television is now, with so many outlets on TV, with so many channels being carried, like the shows that are on are really important, and you could tell in a fan base, it's television. You could have a show that 14 million people watch a week. You'll have a movie that comes out and makes $100 million, but not even 14 million people went to see that movie. It's
sure.
Like it's you get that on a weekly basis, and I think this festival is great. I think there's so many film festivals out there, and to have one that celebrates television, where people, not just the actors, but the writers, the producers, the directors, the people behind the scenes of television, where they can really kind of go out there and talk and tell everybody about, the ins and outs of the business and stuff. It's really great.
So how does it feel to see your baby, Friday Night Lights, to see that it's still loved, even after it ending a few years ago, and have the screening tonight?
I feel like this show is, it's going to be generational, meaning it's just, people who love the show now are going to hand it down to their sons and daughters and say, hey, you got to watch this show. I think, there's not a ton of shows out there like that, like you go back to like MASHes and stuff like that, and we only got 77 episodes, and they usually say that the threshold for, syndication is 100, but we had such an impact that, we're on channels like ESPN Classic and ABC Family carried us and stuff like that. I just feel like people are going to be discovering this show for years to come. Netflix helps with that, all of those, all of the different ways that you can consume media nowadays, and we didn't have a huge fan base when we were on the air, but it's an ever-growing fan base. Every day I get a tweet from somebody, or somebody walks up to me on the street and says, I just saw the pilot, it's so good, why isn't this show on anymore? And I think we made an impact, so it's always nice to see kind of the affirmation when you set out to do something like a show like Friday Night Lights. You set out to do something special, and it's nice to have the affirmation of fans and people out there want to continue to talk about it and have it out, so it's good.
Well, then another show people are talking about is Heart of Dixie. They wouldn't let me off the hook if I didn't ask you a little bit. Like,
of course.
Can you give us any detail?
Our creator and producer, Lila Gersten, she is the brain behind the show, and then of course our very talented writing staff. But we're just going to be sitting down as actors and writers here in the next couple of weeks. So I really don't have any bearing on where the second season's going to go. There are things that I would love to see, and I love the fallout of the finale, where it leaves George, George Tucker, the character that I play on Heart of Dixie. It leaves him kind of standing alone, and I like that idea. I like the idea of kind of seeing George trying to recalibrate and maybe taking a step back, because he helps so many people all the time that he never focuses on himself and what he wants. And once he finally figured it out, he ended up hurting some people because he was ignoring his feelings, the whole time. So I'd love to see George kind of stand alone as a man, have a little bit more of an edge because of the situation that he's gotten himself into. And then, I just love the way the relationships have kind of shifted on the show.
Right,
so
yeah.
It's going to be very cool. I think the fans are going to really enjoy the new situations that our characters are in, so yeah. It's going to be great because the whole first season revolved around, a lot of it revolved around the terrible secret of the affair that Levon and Lemon had. Well, now that it's out, we could see everybody kind of past that, you know.
Right.
That was the hook for the first season. We don't have that hook anymore. So now we're just going to see character growth, and I love the second year of a show. I was talking to somebody last week, and they said that, you know, movies are about beginnings and ends. TV is all middle. And it's really interesting because middle is where you have the most development, usually. You know, in a movie, you have a flashy beginning, you have the big ending, you know, the climactic ending. And in the middle is where you can kind of do the character growth. Well, on a TV show, it's all middle. So we all have to be perpetually moving and going forward and growing as characters, and I really feel like we're going to do that on Hard Dixie.
Definitely. Well, I know we'll all be watching, tuning into you.
Thanks, man.
I want to say thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
No.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we're looking forward to the screening tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank y'all.